Some more sights and sounds of the weekend here at X Games, courtesy of our friends over at Samsung, filmed on the Galaxy S24 Ultra. It's a packed house here today, third and final day of competition. Samsung Galaxy Moto X QuarterPipe High Air Final. Fans have been waiting for this one all weekend long, and we're about to deliver and hand out our final set of Moto X medals this weekend. I'm Jimmy Coleman here in the booth alongside Vicky Golden. We've got Kristen Beat out in the field. And well, Vicky, when we talk about QuarterPipe High Air, you have to talk about Colby Raha. He's been extremely dominant. He's won this thing 4 times. Absolutely. I mean, he's not shy when it comes to sending it. If you think about QuarterPipe High Air, the first thing you think about is Colby Raha. He has won a ton of medals in this category, and he wants to win another one. He knows what to do. It's time for him to pull the trigger. It's only been contested 7 times. He won the very first one back in Minneapolis, and he's won the last 3 in a row. Last year's height, 56.3 feet. But we also have to talk about Axel Hodges. He owns a gold medal in this event. He wasn't here last year. He's back in the lineup today. He is. He's coming off of a rough femur break. He hasn't had a lot of time on the bike, but you know, we're actually seeing a mature Axel Hodges this year. He's normally used to just all out sending it, but he's starting to have to pick and choose his battles, which is why you didn't see him at Best Whip. He's saving himself for QuarterPipe. Well, going back to Colby, we also have to talk about he made an equipment change, and for more on that, let's send it down to Kristen Beat.
Jimmy, this start is totally different than any other bike on the line. To start, it's electric. It's 20 pounds heavier. The power delivery has been something Colby Raha has had to adapt to. But speaking of power, Colby Raha told me this Stark Future electric bike will be the weapon of choice moving forward in QuarterPipe, because any other 450 on the line here produces between 40 and 65 horsepower. This Stark can be tuned to 80 with 5 times the torque. That means this is a rocket ship. It is going straight to the moon. Now, something else you'll notice, when you crank the bike, it doesn't make any noise. Colby told me it's so deafeningly silent that for the first time in his professional career, he's going to be wearing AirPods, listening to music during his competition to counteract that silence. Just a whole lot for Colby Raha to adapt to today. But guys, that should make for an interesting matchup between him and last year's silver medalist, Corey Creed, who's returning on the same equipment with repetition. Guys, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, and here's another thing about him switching the equipment. He's only been on it for about 3.5 weeks, so it's not like he's had a lot of time to get used to this thing. And to her point, mentioning Corey Creed right there, let's not count him out either, because he also owns 2 gold medals in this event. But there is your starting lineup. We have 6 riders in the field out here today. We talked about Colby, Corey, and Axel. We also have to talk about Gam Novice as well. I mean, he put up a pretty good performance back in 2022, and he missed last year due to injury, Vicky.
Definitely, and he looks very, very comfortable. He made actually huge progressions just in practice, so I think he's going to be another heavy hitter out here.
Cole Denny's another one that's really come along here when it comes to Moto X QuarterPipe High Air. We've seen his heights increase over the last couple of years. And then you've got Jason Borowski, who comes in as an alternate who is going to start us off. Now, if you're wondering why isn't Tyler Berryman on that list, he went down yesterday in a crash in practice, so he had to withdraw from competition. So this gentleman right here, an X Games rookie from Westchester, Pennsylvania, gets to start the party here at Samsung Galaxy Moto X QuarterPipe High Air. This one's pretty simple. There's no scores. It's all about sending it as high as you possibly can.
Great start. I mean, he's the first one to go out. That's high pressure for your first ever X Games, and he's handling it with ease.
Well, it's crazy. He didn't actually start riding seriously until 2019. As I mentioned, got in off the alternate list, but Colby Raha taught him how to ride QuarterPipe. So that's a pretty darn good mentor if you're going to get in here and have to compete in your first ever one here at the X Games.
Absolutely. He's definitely got a good mentor, but I mean, at the same time, you got to be the one to earn the stripes, and it's really cool to see him out here. He actually just came out with a YouTube edit called Today, and if you get a chance to watch it, go watch it, because it's absolutely mind-blowing.
So wait to see if we get the height here. Again, no scores on this one. It's all about as high as you can possibly go. As we mentioned, the winning height last year, 56.3 feet. We saw, I mean, every year, it's like 2 years ago, we saw him breaking into the mid-40s, and then they took it higher in 2022, and then last year we started breaking the 50 club, and then Colby Raha just seems to find that extra bit of drive every year and just pulls it out in the very end. Him and Corey Creed were battling it out yesterday. So there you go. Jason Borowski going to check in with 36 feet 10 inches for his first attempt.
Yeah, that's definitely a good warm-up to start with.
This is Cole Denny, Ventura 2024. This is his 4th X Games appearance. Let's see what Cole puts down on his first attempt. I love the drone follow cam shots. It gets so close to these guys.
It definitely gives you some perspective of how high they're going. They're just warming up, but you know, we're gonna get them seeing higher and higher real quick.
So talk about the approach and where the sweet spot is when they leave the lip there, Vicky.
Yeah, I mean, Cole's having the hardest time. I mean, with QuarterPipe, what you don't see is what happens in practice of all the riders have to agree on a placement of the actual ramp, and that can give and take of each rider. So you're seeing him land a bit higher in the landing because he's not quite adjusted to this ramp yet.
We're taking our first look here at Spain's Guillem Navas and just drifting that one. Look how inverted he gets.
He's got a bit of a different approach coming in. He comes in slower and then all gas right at the bottom of the ramp. But, I mean, he's doing it different, but he's doing it really well. Look at that shot. You can see everything in the background. He's super high up there, lands great right where you want to on the landing. And yeah, that's exactly what you want to do, especially for your first jump.
So we're into the mid-40s here with Guillem. So 45 feet 10 inches. Again, in his rookie performance in 2022 when we were out at Axel Hodges' compound, he walked out of here with a bronze. He missed last year due to injury, but comes in on the first go and puts 45 feet 10 inches. Axel Hodges, 12-time X Games medalist. He owns 4 gold, 6 silver, and 2 bronze. Just drifting that one. The style just so easy.
He almost went out of frame on the camera.
We're just getting started. You're going to see a lot of that out here today. That metal guy, 91, says, "Let's go, Hodges." You know, to not have that much time to be riding, I mean, after that femur incident, it was the end of last year. I mean, that was, you know, what does that do to your mindset?
I mean, it definitely makes you feel like you're behind the ball game. And to be fair, too, like he's getting used to new equipment. Kawasaki's had the same KX450 from 19 to 23. So they just came out with this all-new 24 model. So he is actually getting used to a new bike and getting used to just being back on a bike, too.
Did you see when they stopped that replay, just floating? So 47 feet 2 inches for Axel Hodges on attempt number 1. That'll overtake Guillem Navas and put Axel Hodges in that top spot. Welcome back to the X Games, Axel.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see him back out here. He definitely wants to be back there, and Corey Creed's just ready to rip.
Yeah, he's not. He's been waiting for this one for a long time. This is Queensland, Australia's Corey Creed, 3-time X Games Moto X QuarterPipe high air medalist. He's got gold from Minneapolis and Norway in 2019 and a silver from here last year. Taking a look here in slow-mo with the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra Flow Motion. So look how inverted he is.
Oh, he literally, it's crazy. He does it so differently. He looks straight up into the air. I don't know what he's looking at up there, maybe the moon or something, but he goes straight up and drops straight back in.
We're into the 50s. Corey Creed picking up where he left off in 2023 with 50 feet. Little over 50.5 feet. I mean, that guy has been dedicated. He's been training all year. I mean, he suffered a bad crash a couple years ago at Axel's compound, had a big concussion, and had to take a year off. So to see him back and do what he did last year, picking up where he left off. But this is your defending medalist, Colby Raha. Oh my goodness.
First jump, he is not afraid. He's going high right away. I think he's ready to set a statement here.
Check out the tires. You made a comment about that earlier, running the white walls out here.
Yeah, I'm digging the white walls. I might have to get me some of those.
Air Raha, you are absolutely right.
And he looks so different this year. If you watch any footage from last year, he did not jump his 450 gas-powered bike like that. This Stark, he probably had to adjust how he hits this thing on that new Stark bar.
So with that first attempt, that's not good enough to get him into the medals there. He went just under 45.5 feet right there, but the style, it is a packed house out here today for Samsung Galaxy Moto X QuarterPipe High Air. Right now, Corey Creed, last year's silver medalist, sitting in that top spot for right now, followed by Axel Hodges and the return of the Spaniard, Guillem Navas. But we go back up to the top of the order here with our X Games rookie making it in off the alternate list. It's Jason Borowski.
Oh,
that was a little scary.
That's a rough landing. I've actually talked to a few of the riders, and when they're up there, they're not even sure where they're landing until they get a little bit closer. So I think he knew right away. You could kind of see him lock up a little bit, and I don't blame him, but he landed and saved it. And for whatever reason, he's not wearing any gloves out here today.
Just talk about the compression to drop that high. I mean, especially if you get the last bit of the transition right there. What does that do to your body on the landing?
I mean, that's a heavy load. I mean, look at the feet they're jumping. The quarter pipe alone is 18 feet. So to drop in from that height, oh man, that's got to be a rough hit.
Here we go with our second attempt here with Cole Denny. I like how they zoomed in on the Joe Dirt logo on Cole's bike. Cole's a blue-collar dude. I mean, when the first couple of attempts for him at the X Games, I mean, he was holding down a full-time job. Now he doesn't have to do that anymore.
Tames for the babes.
Tames for the babes. He says this year he started a coaching school called School of Shred at his property with help on the business side from his wife. He films a lot of edits with his son, so just a good dude all the way around and a great person to root for.
Oh yeah, if you want to think about good times, you think about Cole Denny.
It's also earlier this year, it was February, he broke his tibia, so he's kind of limping around. You see him walking around. He's definitely not 100%. So Cole's going to check in with a 40 on that one, and Guillem Navas not wasting any time. It just
amazing. He has such good style when he does that, but he's going very straight off that ramp, and it's cutting him in pretty close to that edge, so he definitely wants to be careful with that.
I was going to say he carved that first one, and then he just took it straight up and straight down here.
Wow. Yeah, the difficult part with QuarterPipe is, you know, they have a set point that they're aiming for off the ramp, but, you know, if they miss that mark by an inch, they could miss the landing by feet.
So 47 feet,
Axel
2 inches there for Gip.
The four-time gold medalist is making his return to professional competition after more than a year away from the sport and 5 months off the bike. Massive air there for Axel Hodges. A great return for him, guys. It has been almost a year since he lost his best friend, Pat Casey. And then in December, shattered his right femur. It takes normal people 6 to 7 months to recover from an injury like that. Axel is back on the bike after only 5 months. And he's still dealing with a little bit of that pain, but working through it today, guys.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a tough year. He came out and was with us on the Nitro Circus Tour back in the fall, and, you know, he's just kind of getting right back in that headspace and just, you know, kind of doing his own thing. And then after all that and trying to, you know, get back in that right headspace and then have that femur injury happen, I mean, that's a tough one to come back from.
Definitely. He's been going through some struggles, but it's really good to see him back out here.
This Corey Creed just boosts another one. So 50 feet 7 inches on the first attempt. You got Axel Hodges with 47 feet 5 inches, and Guillem Navas now with 47 feet 2 inches. See, we're almost at the 7.5 minute mark here on the jam session.
And Corey's just got that style and going straight off like that.
It's hard to tell at real-time speed, but when you see it in slow motion, look at his head. He's looking up at the sky. He's not looking at the landing when he takes off from the lip. He's looking up until the bike starts to turn and starts to drop back down towards the landing. That's when he turns to look and spot his landing. We bring back in Colby Raha again on the electric bike this year.
Yeah, he's looking really good. He's looking like he's going higher, but I don't know how they're quite measuring, you know, the height of the bike. So maybe because he's having to pitch that bike down, he's technically losing height on what we're measuring.
So he had 45 feet 5 inches the first go around.
And he's really over the front to keep that thing down. That's definitely a different style he's not used to doing, so he's definitely have to make adjustments on the fly.
From this angle right here, just the overlay between the height here from Corey Creed, Axel Hodges, and Guillem Navas. So he's in the ballpark right there. Is it going to be enough, though? It depends where the transponder is on the bike there, the highest part of the bike. So Colby's going to get 48 feet 4 inches on that one, and that one is going to put him in that silver medal position for right now. So Colby Raha jumps up into the medals. Right now we're gonna learn a little bit more about Axel Hodges here in this Monster Energy athlete profile.
In December, I broke my femur. I was out at Glamis shooting with my brother Dirt Shark. We're making a little desert video, and I came into this step down, 4th gear wide open, and G'd out my suspension. I think I might have caught a foot peg or something, and just wiggled off the lip, and it shot me left. Landed in the sand, and then my bike landed in front of me, and I think I rolled into my bike, and my femur rolled over the handlebars and shattered my femur into like 12 pieces or something. For X Games, I haven't tried to just put too much pressure on myself to like be like, hey, you gotta go win this, you gotta be the best ever. I know I'm not gonna be fully healthy like I would be if I had a full year on the bike coming and swinging, so I'm just gonna go out there and try to have the most fun I can and just see what happens.
Yeah, what a crazy experience to cap off his 2023 season. I mean, I watched that all unfold there on Instagram, but hats off to him to making it back in the lineup out here in a relatively short amount of time. Before we get into the 3rd round of runs here, let's check in one more time with Kristen B.
Yeah, Jimmy, thank you so much. In QuarterPipe, every rider kind of hits and has a different strategy. I was gonna look and try to illustrate this for you guys, but what Corey Creed is doing, and Jimmy, you touched on it a little bit, but what's happening is as he's on approach, off the ramp, you'll notice that he waits for the bike's speed to scrub, which means the bike has already stopped going as high as it's gonna go. Then he looks down and locates his landing. It's a completely different strategy than anybody else is employing, and it's bananas, because imagine launching, not knowing where you're gonna land, waiting for the bike's speed to scrub, and then finally being able to locate. But Corey Creed said that that's how he's getting those extra few inches. He swears by it, but it is absolutely bananas.
Yeah, thank you, Kristen, for the breakdown on that. I mean, that's insane to not turn your head to look at your landing until the last possible moment. Like, I mean, all of this is insane to me. But then to hear that, oh my goodness! So 51 feet 10 inches. We're back to the top of the order here. Jason Borowski on attempt number 3. He's up there at 41 feet 9 inches is his best height that we've seen thus far. Only 3 guys have ever won this thing. The 7 times that it's been.
So much fun right now.
He says, I'm having so much fun right now. We're having a heck of a lot of fun watching you here, Jason, and welcome to the X Games.
It's good to know somebody's having fun, because this is stressful to watch, and it's only going to get worse and worse watching for us. And I'm just like, I don't want to see my friends get hurt, so I'm glad they're at least having fun, because I'm stressed.
Yeah, you're dropping out of the sky on dirt bikes. It's a little scary, but I mean, everyone loves this event, and these boys do not disappoint year in and year out. Look at Cole Denny. Just carves that one. Almost ran out of real estate on that one. He carved pretty hard across that QuarterPipe.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier, is that he's just struggling to find that landing. He keeps landing a bit on the top, so he's trying to change things up to adjust for that. Obviously, he's still trying to work it out, but looks like he's still having a good time.
As I was saying before, only 3 people have ever won this. We talked about Colby Raha having 4 victories, Corey Creed's got 2, and then Axel Hodges. So, and actually, to Colby's point, Colby's never missed the medals in this event. Of the 7 times it's been contested, he didn't enter 1 time. That was in Norway in 2019 because his suspension didn't show up. As we take another look at Guillaume Navas, he was in the medals. He now finds himself in that number 4 position.
Yeah, he's right on the outside looking in on that medal contention.
Just by 3 inches. It's 47 feet 2 and 47 feet 5. I mean, that's the difference between him and Axel Hodges right now.
Definitely, not by much. So he looks like he's really comfortable where he's at. And so once you're comfortable there, then you just got to push yourself outside your comfort zone. And that's no fun to be doing.
Well, there's still time left on the jam session here. If time doesn't expire in the middle of the run order, we do finish it out so everyone gets the same amount of attempts here at Samsung Galaxy Moto X QuarterPipe High Air. So Corey Creed thus far the only one to break that 51 or the 50-foot mark. He's at 51 feet 10 inches. He was your silver medalist last year. The battle that he and Colby Raha had, I mean, they just kept trading him back and forth. And Colby's just been so dominant in this thing. He's won the last 3 years in a row, 21 and 22 out at Axel Hodges compound, and then last year here in Ventura. as we take another look here in slow motion at Guillem's last attempt.
Yeah, and he has a massive racing background back in Spain. So to see him do this, and he's bringing that style of the racer mentality, so I love to see it.
Oh, he's back into the medals. He overtakes Axel Hodges and Colby Raha. 48 feet 4 inches for Guillem. So that's going to bump Axel down to that 4th place spot now. So it's Creed, Navas, and Raha, your 1, 2, 3. And Axel Hodges is due up next and is going to get a chance to answer back here. He owns 4 total medals in this event, 1 gold, 3 silver. So 47.5 is only good enough for 4th place right now. 50 feet is about 15 meters for the civilized world. Sorry, Detlaw, I wasn't told there was going to be math out here today. I just call it like I see it. Here we go. Axel Hodges sends one.
Wow.
Just, again, not much carve. Pretty straight up and straight down on that one.
I think that's a scary way, but it has to be done that way if you want a medal.
So we're working our way towards the 5-minute mark here. So plenty of time still left in this jam session.
I just love how they dip that shoulder, lean the bike out, and they're just letting it go as high up as they can, and then just pulling that kind of a little tug almost on the handlebars to bring that front end down. And wow, that's such an insane shot.
I mean, that's surreal. Those palm trees are massive in the background right there, and he's floating over those things with the drone, chasing him. Let's bring Kristen into the conversation here.
Guys, just a moment ago, I saw Corey Creed burning out his rear tire. The fans were loving it, but I'm thinking, what are you doing? Well, by the way, he is on a slick tire on the back. There's knobbies and there's slicks. He's choosing that for a reason, to get more rear tire traction. He's burning out to get the tire hot, just to get that little extra bit of torque and traction for this competition.
So Axel Hodges just jumped into the 50-foot club there. 50 feet 5 inches. He's back into the medals as Corey Creed is under power here. I mean, it's just insanity. Like, you're over 50 feet. I mean, and they just keep pushing it.
I mean, that's what you get when you get the best around and you bring them all together and you give them shiny medals to offer up. They're going to fight for it and take it.
Just look at the inversion to just dip in that shoulder to bring it back around. A little more carved out of him.
Absolutely. I think the difference with Corey is that he's doing this year-round. I don't know how his body's holding up, but he's doing it year-round to get himself this comfortable.
So that one by the overlay there appears to be maybe a little bit lower than that 5110 that he posted up. Yeah, he's one of the few people that actually has a setup. It's not like you can just go anywhere and go practice this stuff. There are a limited amount of people that have a compound to where you can go and actually practice this stuff. As we bring Kristen back, we'll get with her in a second as we look at Colby Raha's 3rd attempt. And Corey, also back to Corey, he had a pretty bad crash earlier this year. He ended up missing the landing and had a pretty scary crash that I saw on Instagram and bounced back from that one pretty quickly.
He did. I mean, to crash on this, man, I don't know. It would be mind-blowing to even be able to get back up and want to do this again. And I'm sure he went through a mental battle to get back up and keep pushing to do this.
So we're just under 3.5 minutes to go here. It's Corey Creed and Axel Hodges in the 50s. Guillem Navas sitting in a bronze medal spot right now with a 48 feet 4 inch attempt. Colby Raha at 48.4 as well. It's got him sitting in that number 4 spot. So as we're looking at Jason Borowski here, looks like that last one from Colby not going to be enough to jump him up here. So we're hitting 3 minutes. Zooming in on the bars there with a nice set of captive grips on the ride there for Jason Borowski. There's Colby Raha. Your defending gold medalist, won this thing the last 3 times it's been contested out here. Prior to that, it was Corey Creed with 2 wins. Axel Hodges back in 2018 in Minnesota. And then the first ever QuarterPipe high air back in 2017, Colby Raha taking gold there. So we take another look in slow motion, Vicky.
Yeah, he's pushing into that ramp. He even takes a hand off. I must be getting comfortable. Oh man, that's insane to see. The drone can't even keep up and going that high.
Just look at the way he's tucked into the bars.
Yeah, I wonder maybe just with the ergonomics of dealing with this e-bike that it's just so different that he's just adjusting differently. I'm curious to know what the difference is he's struggling with, or not really struggling because he looks like he's going good.
So there it was. So they were waiting for the height to come in. So 49 feet. So now that's going to overtake Guillaume Nava. So that'll put him into the medal. So it's Creed, Hodges, Raha, your 1, 2, 3 as we go back up to the top and bring in our X Games rookie, Jason Borowski.
Taking a hand off in the air.
Everyone's taking hands off now.
We're at that point of the competition where everyone's feeling comfortable and just taking hands off.
Philly, baby, we made it!
He's stoked. I love it.
Graduated from Pennsylvania State University in 2019 with a BA in political science from Westchester, PA. That's why you hear him saying, Philly, baby, we made it. Look at that. Let's take the hand off. Why
so
not?
Rad. I mean, if I did that, I'd be holding on for dear life, but he must be comfortable. That comes from all that prep work and putting in the hard work at the Rahville compound.
Hi, Dad. Hi, everybody at home. Hi, Grandma Lorraine.
Yeah, why not? We got the email this morning that said, hey, Tyler Berriman's out, Jason Borowski is in. Welcome to the X Games, sir. 41 feet 9 inches was his best attempt. That's got him down in 5th place as of right now. Time winding down here. This could possibly be the last round of runs here. We're under 1 minute to go. As we bring back in Cole Denny.
That was definitely his best one yet, at least, I don't know height-wise, but style-wise and comfortability, it looks like he's starting to figure it out.
Yeah, again, going back to the injury, February of this year, broke his tibia and definitely not 100%. The last time I saw him, he was hobbling around pretty good, so definitely not feeling 100%.
No, absolutely. He's definitely dealt with some injuries and some rough injuries that have set him back, but I don't know, he's the one guy that those things don't get him down. He knows how to handle it, and he wants to just ride.
So time winding down here at Samsung Galaxy Moto X QuarterPipe High Air. This may possibly be the last round of runs that we see before we hand out some medals here. The big story right now, it's Corey Creed sitting in the top spot with a 51-foot, 10-inch high air, and Colby Raha, your defending gold medalist, sitting in a bronze medal spot right now. But Axel Hodges, who was out of the lineup last year, sits in the silver medal spot at a little over 50 feet. Who is walking away with the gold?
Yeah, this is when things start to get heavy. They're all ready to go and want those medals.
So Guillaume Nava trying to jump back up into that top 3. Colby Raha bumped him down to 4th. Haven't got official word yet from Sports and Comp that this is it. Time is run out. As mentioned before, we do finish out the run order.
Just so stylish, spotting the landing, bringing the bike down in.
Former motocross and supercross rider. From the pro level in Spain.
I love this graphic to just give you an idea of where they're possibly going to rank before we actually see the height come in. But again, look at, I mean, he is so close to the edge of that.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about earlier. It's just that little bit. If you miss off by a little bit, you can miss that landing by feet.
He's done it. He's in the 50s, a 51 flat, so he overtakes Axel Hodges. Guillaume Nava's just put himself back into the medals. He overtakes Axel Hodges. That bumps our defending gold medalist down to 4th. It's getting wild here in what's possibly the last round.
I love to see it. These boys are getting fired up and ready to go. And Axel's kind of taking on this Moto start to get as much power and speed as he can get built up.
So 3 riders in the 50s right now.
Bronze medal position is looking to replace 50 feet, 5 inches.
A 50.5, 51 flat, and a 51.10. We take one more look. Again, I mean, those palm trees in the background are massive, and they're just soaring.
Absolutely. He's making big palm trees look massive, short, really. I mean, to be up that high, I couldn't even imagine what he's seeing. It's like probably looking at Ventura from space from up there.
So that's not going to be his best height, so he's going to stick with that 50.5. with 2 riders left to go. The next one in has won this 2 times prior. He's sitting in the top spot right now. He owns 3 total medals in this event, the third one being a silver, and then the last guy to go has won it 4 times and is on the outside looking in. Possible last attempt here for Corey Creed. And just sent it to the moon, Vicky.
Oh my gosh. You could tell right before he left, he was so fired up. He was not letting Colby get any chance of overtaking him. That's a gnarly way to go about it, but you could just see how much he had to talk himself up to do that.
Take a look with the follow cam with the drone.
Wow, I don't know what was happening with his right leg. I don't know if he was trying to hit the, he missed, maybe he missed the rear brake. Oh,
he's just fighting to find that foot peg.
Yeah, he couldn't, he was trying to hit the rear brake. It looked like he kind of went into a little bit of a panic. I mean, if you're missing the brake up there, that's crucial to how you're gonna come in for the landing.
Just chest into the bars on that one. No, he's 53 feet, 7 inches.
Oh my God. I had to say that I had to go for it. He looked like he was ready to go.
We have one more rider to go. Let's check in first with Kristen.
Guys, there was a time in Colby Raha's career when he didn't have a home. Metal Militia hooked him up with a van for his first X Games. Now he's at a point in his career where he is racking up medals. What a turnaround story for Colby Raha as he attempts to secure another gold medal in QuarterPipe high air.
I was going to say, he's down right now, and don't ever count this guy out because we've seen him do the come from behind win multiple times. This is it. This is going to be the last run. He's the last rider to go. Can Colby Raha get it done? So 49 feet was his best run prior. It's only good enough for 4th right now. Corey Creed on the last one. He was in the lead already, bumped it up with 53 feet, 7 inches. I mean, you don't ever want to rest when you've got Colby Raha still to go behind you, but
Absolutely. Colby definitely has that mentality where he's going to do it, and he's either going to go home with a medal or typically go home, you know, almost in an ambulance at that point, but he is boosting.
Okay, so looking at the meter there, that back tire's up there at Corey Creed level.
That's going to be a close
This is going to be
call.
close. Like, again, if this happens again on the last attempt, it's going to be absolutely insane. Your defending gold medalist on your left, the silver medalist from last year on your right. So a 51-foot, 7-inch high attempt. That means Corey Creed is going to get the win here in 2024. That's his 3rd gold medal. Colby Raha is going to walk out of here with the silver, and Guillaume Navas is going to take home the bronze. That bumps Axel Hodges out. That means in the 8 times this has been contested here at the X Games, the same 3 guys have won it. It's either been Colby Raha, Axel Hodges, or Corey Creed. This makes the 3rd gold for that gentleman right there. Talk us through the replays here, Vicky.
Man, that last one was a wild ride. I mean, you could tell he was firing himself up because he did not want to let Colby to be able to overtake him. So he came in fired up and ready to go and send it.
So there you go, a well-deserved gold medal for Corey Creed. That makes 3 in this event for him. Colby Raha keeps the podium streak alive. He's never not made a medal here in QuarterPipe high air, and it's Guillaume Navas taking home the bronze. That is a wrap for us here at Samsung Galaxy Moto X QuarterPipe high air final.